In this video, I'm going to cover the dark side of being a small business owner, and that's the sleepless nights when you just don't know that everything is going well inside your business. If you're like me, you probably started your business because you were good at something. You were a good technician. And by technician, I mean someone who was doing something and exchanging value for their time. And so you may have been baking cakes, you may have been an electrician, you may have been brokering mortgages, but whatever you were doing, you were excellent at your craft. And my journey of entrepreneurship is the same. I was good at fixing people's computers. And when I was 15 years old, I started charging money for that. And then it kind of grew and grew and grew and grew into this kind of big, crazy business that we have now. So just like you, I was in a position where I was doing all of the delivery first, and then eventually I started hiring other people to help out with that delivery. And I started taking hats off for other people to help with stuff. But I had this constant worry and this constant challenge of, have the people that I've hired, are they even living up to the way that I was delivering? Are they doing things in the way that I would do things? Are they looking after customers in the way that I would look after customers? And that stress started to eat away at me. Now, in my journey of business, I started to gain weight. I lost hair. I had my family and my relationships affected because I was stressing about the business because it was literally my livelihood. If my team weren't delivering well to my customers and weren't building the same kind of relationships that I wanted to have with my customers, well, there was a potential that the business just wouldn't work. And business, no matter what industry you're in, no matter what kind of business it is, business is all about people and it's all about relationships. And so making sure that you manage those relationships effectively is absolutely key. But how do you do that if you're going from being a one-man band where you're doing everything up in your head to then having other people actually working for you as well? And the challenge is that you're going from relationships that are one-on-one, where you're managing everything, to relationships that are kind of one-to-many. And the relationship from your customers is actually with the business or with the brand rather than with individuals. Now, of course, they're still going to have relationships with your staff as well, but notice who's missing from that picture. You. You are not the same person talking to your customers when your staff are talking to your customers or when your customers are seeing your brand. And so how can you replicate that magic? How can you make sure the same way that you work is upheld by your team? Because unless they're absolutely superstars, and there are superstars in many businesses, they're probably not going to treat your customers exactly the same way as a business owner would, because their livelihood is not necessarily on the line. Yeah, sure, their job might be on the line, but their house isn't on the line. All of their income and all their skills aren't necessarily on the line. Whereas for us as business owners, quite often our business is all we've got. Now, when you're stressed and when you're worried about these situations, it can lead to the kind of situation where you're awake at night. You're stuck up at night and you're worrying about the business. And I've been in that position where I'm doing 60 or 80-hour weeks, and when I'm going to bed at night, I've still got my head spinning about stresses in the business. Have I paid the superannuation for my staff? Have I got back to all the customers? Oh, there's still 3 emails in my inbox that I haven't got to. I'll get to that tomorrow. And, starting to write to-do lists either on sticky notes or in a to-do list app. And, you roll over and go to sleep and you wake up the next day and you try and do it all again. But there's this underlying sense of not getting to everything, just not actually getting all of the tasks finished and completed. And especially when there's other staff involved, it becomes, are they doing a good job? How was my customer's interaction with that? From time to time, you'll have a customer who emails you because maybe they didn't have a great experience with one of your staff who was meant to deliver to them. Or maybe you're the bottleneck for everything and customers just come to you all the time because they always want you rather than being willing to work with one of your team members. And this is basically a hamster wheel on the road to burnout. And I've experienced burnout many times. It is not fun. And I'm sure you've experienced burnout. For many people, they seem to be in a perpetual state of some level of burnout. And I totally understand that. Think about, when was the last time you had a holiday? When was the last time you had some pure switch off time to actually be completely away from the business? Now, right now I'm recording from my truck. I've got a camper truck and I'm traveling around Australia, and I have time both working on the road in the business because I've got location flexibility and we've got technology to help us do that. But I've also got the ability to switch off when I want to. And that's because I've built an effective team around me, but I also have the right technology to support that team to really have a great business and deliver really well to our customers. And so that's what we want to help other business owners to do as well. Create more freedom for you as a business owner so that you can have time freedom, flexibility on location, you can work from wherever you want, and hopefully you have more income as well so you can live the life that you really dream about. Now, how do we get there? Well, there is a solution, and it's a technology solution. You need a technology system to manage your relationships. And managing your relationships means that you can delegate that relationship management to your team. Because if you're the one central person that everyone needs to come to in the business, then you're going to be literally stuck in the business 5 days a week or more forever. There is no way for you to get out of the business until you start delegating relationship management to your team. Now, we've got an amazing solution to do that. It's called Copper CRM, and this is a system that helps businesses manage relationships right from within Google Workspace. Now, if you purchase it through us, you get access to professional consulting services and a bunch of other benefits and even exclusive discounts that are not available to the public. So you can click on the link below and have a look at our team and getting started with a trial of Copper CRM. Now, this solution is going to help you to get out of your head, so you don't need to worry about trying to remember things. Now, think about, why do we use technology tools to remind ourselves of things? Why do we create a to-do list? Why do we use a calendar? Why do we have communication in email? Why do we take notes? Or why do we put tasks in a task system? It's so we can get it out of our head, because we literally only have a limited amount of bandwidth on the number of things that we can remember. And so having your relationships remembered and effectively communicated and managed using a technology system is going to allow you to get more sales, build better relationships with your partners, have a more successful business, and have more time eventually for that holiday time, switch off time, and more time with your family and freedom to do what you love to do. That's what this is about, right? Isn't that why we got into business? If you're interested in chatting with our team, jump on the link down below. And if you're already a Google Workspace customer, we have an exclusive offer for you to join our business for free and get access to some amazing free access to your team, some amazing training for your team for free. So jump on that link below. That's called our transfer in offer, and I look forward to working with you soon.